Hello everybody, this is Gregory with how I lost over 100 pounds and have kept it off for 30 plus years, where there should be no hesitancy in your weight loss and in your weight maintenance. Today I'm going to posit the question whether or not permanent weight loss is something that is feasible. Now before we begin, if you need help with weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Also check out my courses, all of which are at my website. Check out all the articles that I have on my website and my books, which you can find on Amazon. My two podcasts, The Awakened Man, which is very weight loss centric, and The Cinema Rag, which is about movies. Both of them you can find on Apple and Spotify. And lastly, if you appreciate my content, there is a link for PayPal. So, can weight loss be feasibly accomplished? This is a good question because look, we know that almost 3/4 of Americans are overweight, and I would say 3/4 of them, despite what the body positive movement would tell you, want to be regular weighted. They either want to be regular weighted for shallow reasons, like they want to get laid, or they want to attract a better spouse, or they want to attract a spouse, or they want to fit into regular clothes, or it's because they want to do it because they want to have a longer life expectancy and so forth. But every overweight person wants to be regular weighted. They really do deep down, even if they've been indoctrinated by the body positive movement. They do. So the intent is there. But the big question, the $1 million question, like the old game show, is the drive there? Is the self-restraint there? And that's a separate question. So, and that's why I say it's feasible, because on one level you could be a Pollyanna or just an idealist and say, of course it's feasible. Everyone could do it. Or I could say it and it could be perceived as something arrogant, like, well, if I did it, you can do it. Well, I think, and that's not to say like whatever I've done is something that is extraordinary, beyond man's capability or woman's capability. No, it's not true. It's just we look at the stats. Always look at the stats. We're not driven by emotion. We look at logic and reason. And if you look at the statistics, 3/4 of Americans are overweight. And you look at the statistic, the majority of people who lose weight regain it. So is long-term weight loss feasible? If you look at the studies and you look at anecdotal observations, the answer would be no. Because most people are overweight, and those who do lose a lot of weight regain it back statistically. So, I could say, well, yeah, no. Forget the science, forget the empiricism, and go with your emotion and say it is feasible. But, that being said, it is feasible. Now, does that mean you can do it? Maybe not. A lot of what drives us is something that is very esoteric and deep within us. And you can look at nature versus nurture. You can look at so many of the factors that made you gain the weight in the first place. Your disordered relationship with food that was typically started from childhood trauma. Can you unlink that? When you get like the old earpods of the Apple, you disentangle it, or your old Walkman, can you disentangle it? It could take a long time, and some people, when they're disentangled, they just I give up. I don't want to do it. And it's the same thing here. Is long-term weight loss feasible? Yes. It reminds me of Dumb and Dumber. Remember that old comedy where Laura Hawley's character is like, there's no way that I would ever date you, and Jim Carrey's character, or maybe it was Jeff Daniels, said, so there's a chance? So of course, is there a chance you can lose the weight? Yes, of course. If I can do it, other people can do it. But the statistics and the odds are not in your favor. And I think going into weight loss, you need to have that kind of perspective. It is an uphill battle, especially because you already have a disordered relationship with food. And also because society has made it easy to stay fat now. Right? You go to Victoria's Secret, they have full-size mannequin models, right? They're making clothes bigger. There's not as much bullying for the way you look. And look, these things on one level are good because we don't want people to be bullied. We don't want people to be hurt. But on one level, I think it enables the obesity. So if you know that, I'm not going to get ridiculed, I'm not going to be bullied, like around me, other people are overweight. And if you look around, really, you just put on the goggles, you'll see most people are overweight. It's not that big of a deal. And then you start rationalizing, I could probably still get laid, or, it doesn't affect this, doesn't affect that. then I think that motivates you. It's kind of like the zombie runs they do for marathon runners. In some of these places, they'll have like people dressed up as zombies and running after you, and then you're more likely to run faster if you know you're being pursued. I think that if it's more life or death stakes, so to speak, I think you're going to be more motivated to try to lose the weight and then try to keep it off, because it's high stakes, right? Like if you find out like, oh, you got stage 4 pancreatic cancer, your only chance of survival in a year is you have to eat or just do a juicing diet for a year or whatever it is, eat only meat, whatever it is. Well, you're like, yeah, if I don't do this, I'm going to die. So you'll be more motivated. I think in the society we live in today, there's not as much motivation because it's so acceptable to be morbidly overweight. So is it feasible to lose weight? Yes. Is it likely going to happen? Maybe not. And I'm not telling you that to depress you. I'm telling you that because we look at the statistics. Most people regain it. So we want you to be in the minority. We want you to be in my camp. We don't want you to be in that camp of the yo-yo dieters, which you might be in the past. So how can we get to that point? How do you get to that point is you got to do the deep work. And a lot of people either don't have the intellectual acumen or ability to do it, or they just have a lot of childhood trauma, or they just don't want to retrospect and go down that deep rabbit hole tunnel to unhook emotions to food, to restore an ordered relationship with food. That's how you have to do it. There's no other way. Yeah, you could do the cookie diet, you could do the juice diet, you can do the crash diet that made you lose weight. You can't do it the rest of your life. And again, the studies will bear that out. So it's a question of whether or not you want to do the deep work. If you want to go to therapy, if you want to radically change your lifestyle, if you want to stop drinking or smoking or eating junk food, that's only ultimately up to you. But there are testaments out there of people who've done it, and that should motivate you. That should motivate you. But also understand, it's kind of like sperm. When a man ejaculates, 350 million sperm come out of an average load. How many of those are really successful? It's a very small few. So I think having the mindset of, yeah, it's going to be hard. The minority don't do it. I'm going to do the deep work. I'm going to have the ambition and the drive, and I will do it. And that's the mindset. And the first key to weight loss and weight maintenance is having the proper mindset, not the loser or negativistic mindset. It's to have the right mindset. And then from there, we'll see. And there's a lot of videos here to help you along the way. Guys, post in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care. God bless and pray.